Hi, today I want to show you how do we do the calculations using Excel. Now, first of all, we open an Excel file. Here I just entered the value that I need for my example. This is the end of year 0. This is the cash flow related to it. I have added values from year 0 till year 6. Okay. And here I entered the MAR as 20%, number of periods as 6 periods. Now for this cash flow diagram, I want to get the net present value, or what we used to say for the present value. Now we have learned how to do the calculations by hand. Now it's time to see how do we do it using Excel with one click. Now we know that we have functions in Excel. So if you stand on any cell like this, okay, and press equal NPV, you will see all the functions, okay, that start with N and P. I want to choose this one. You see, in order to calculate the net present value, I need first the rate. What is the rate? Here it's meant by the rate, the MAR. So that's why I wrote it here aside. So I will choose it. This is my rate. Then I press comma. He's asking for the values, okay? So I'm gonna choose those values from year 1 till year 6 and enter. Now you see we have two methods to calculate the net present value. The first method is choosing the values from year 1 till year 6. Then for the final answer, we just go here and say shift plus, okay. So we add the value here, okay, at year 0 and enter. So this is how we calculate the present worth, okay. Now the second method is that you say equal NPV. You see if I click on it, it says returns the net present value of an investment based on a discount rate and a series of future payments and income, okay. Whether these payments are positive or negative, I can get the present value using this function. So I will click it, okay. I need to calculate the rate. It's my 20%. Then I need to choose the values. Now if I want to choose all the values, this is the second method. I'm going to choose the values from year 0 till year 6, okay. However, enter, the final answer has to be multiplied by 1 plus I. What is I? It is the interest rate. So I'm gonna say shift number 8 to get this star, okay. This is the multiplication sign, times what? 1.2, since the rate here is 20%, so 1 plus I is 1.2, and I say enter. So you see these values are the same. So I have two methods to calculate the net present value in Excel. The first method is choosing the rate first, then the values that I'm gonna choose will be from year 1 till the end, okay. Then after I get the final answer, I will add the initial investment. The second method, this one is choosing all the values from year 0 till year 6 or till the end and multiply the final answer with 1 plus I. So this is how we calculate the net present value. Now if I want to calculate the annuity of this cash flow diagram, okay, the function of annuity is referred to as PMT, okay. So when I say equals PMT, you see here it calculates the payment for a loan based on constant payments and a constant interest rate, constant payments. So this is referred to the annuity, okay. So when I double click on it, it says here that I need the rate. You see, I need the rate always, so that's why it's better to write it somewhere. So this is my rate, comma. It asks for number of periods, so that's why I write it here again. Here I have 6 periods, so you choose it, comma. It asks for the present value. I already calculated it, okay. And you see here FV, the future value, is in parentheses. So when it's in parentheses, this means that it's optional to give it or write it. Since it's optional, I can just write those values and enter, and I will get the value of PMT. Now here I have something called the type. What's the type? Remember when we first began our explanation and we said that when I say I have 100 at year 1, there are two schools. The school that we have adopted will say that this 100 is paid at the end of year 1. Now, the second school will say that this 100 is happening at the beginning of year 1. Okay, so this is what's meant by the type. What type are you using? Which method are you following? Since we are following the method that says that this value is at the end of year 1, then this is type 0. Okay, and since it's 0, so this means that I can skip putting the value of 0. If you're adopting the second method, then in this bracket you should write number 1. So here I'm gonna just put the rate, number of periods, and the present value, and I will say enter. You see, this is my annuity. Now, with respect to the annuity, in Excel, the value, the final answer is given in the negative sign. Okay, so that's why I will know that the annuity is $348. Now I want to calculate the future value, so I will say equal FV. So you see, this FV returns the future value of an investment based on periodic constant payments. So Excel will calculate the future value, however, it will be based on the annuity. Okay, so if you double click on it here, he will ask for the rate. It's 20%, comma, number of periods 6, comma, and it will ask for the PMT. So I'm gonna click it here, okay, and enter. So this is the future value. Now, of course, you can calculate the future value in another method. I know that the future value equals to P into 1 plus I to the power N. So I already know P. Can't I get the future? So you will say it is equals to P. I have to put the multiplication sign multiplied by 1 plus I, which is here 1.2, all to the power shift number 6 to get this power sign. And here I have 6 periods, so enter. You see, it gave me the same answer. So you can get the future value using the function here, but this function depends on the annuity, or you can get it using the equation that we know, and here the calculation will be based on the present value. Now in Excel, we have two functions for the present value. Okay, we have NPV and we have PV. So if you write here equals PV, you will see here that it returns the present value of an investment, okay, the total amount that a series of future payment is worth now. So if you click here, you will see that it will give you the present value, but it's going to be based on the annuity or the future value. Okay, so this is the difference between this PV and this NPV. This NPV, okay, is more general. If I have any values, okay, here I can get its present value. However, with this PV, I should have my PMT or the annuity or the future value. So I'm gonna put the rate, comma, number of periods, comma, PMT. I'm gonna click it, okay. Since the FV is optional, so I can skip it, so I'm gonna just say enter. Okay, you see this value is the same as this one, so I'm showing you different methods to calculate the present value using Excel. Now I want to show you how do we calculate the IRR in one step. You know, we have learned several methods for calculation of IRR by hand. We have a simpler method using Excel. You just write here, click on the cell, equal IRR. You see it returns the internal rate of return for a series of cash flow. Double click on it. It will only ask for the values that you have and the guess. Now this guess is optional, so you can skip it. But what does it really mean? If you have the MAR, for example, you can add it as a guess. Okay, I know that we have a certain MAR, but I want to know what's the IRR of this cash flow, so you can put it here optionally. Now, what are the values that I have? This is my cash flow, so I'm gonna just gonna choose the values from 0 till 5, and I don't want to put the guess value of the MAR, so I just enter. You see, I got the value of the IRR of this cash flow in one click. Now I want to show you here, suppose that I'm working with the problem of the depreciation, okay, and I've reached the final column, which is related to the after-tax cash flow. Okay, here this is the given. We have an initial investment of this amount, revenues, we have expenses, we have the market value, number of periods, and the MAR. Now, I just want you to pay attention to this mistake. We agreed that here we have 6 periods. In the depreciation table, we always have 2 rows. One row for the annuity, and the last one is for the market value. Okay? Now, remember when we used to do the calculation of the present worth of this after-tax cash flow, I used to tell you, pay attention that this also is happening at period 6. Okay, so you have to multiply. When you calculate P, you will say P equals F into P knowing FIN, and the period of this one is 6. Okay, but when you put it on Excel, Excel will not understand this. Okay, because I'm gonna choose all these values. It will see this one as the value at year 7. Okay, so in order to solve this problem, you have to add the values, okay, and give one value only for row number 6. This means that you'll have to do it in this way. Okay, this is the 110. It is the summation of the 98,000 plus the 12,000. So the summation of this value is written, okay, as a whole. Now I just want to show you what will be the difference if you did this mistake and you chose all the values and you wanted to calculate the present worth or the present value. So I'm gonna say equals NPV. Okay, this is the rate, 15%, comma, and the values here that I'm gonna choose. Let's say I'm gonna follow the second or the first method. I'm gonna choose the values here. Okay, enter. Then the final answer, I'm gonna say, okay, here just add a plus sign, okay, and add the value at 0, enter. So this is my present value. Okay, now Excel will say that here I have 7 periods. Okay, let's see the correct method of solution. Here you will say equals NPV. Okay, the rate is 15%, comma, the values using the same method. Okay, enter. Final answer, I'm gonna just say here that I want to add the values at year 0. Okay, enter. Now you see that the values are different. Okay, because here Excel will say that we have 7 values. Okay, he doesn't know that this is the market value. Okay, so you have to tell it that at year 6 we have 2 values, the value of the annuity plus the market value, so you have to add it. Okay, then after you add it, you'll have to do the solution using this method, and this is the correct value of the present worth. Okay, so this is what you need to know about the functions that we use in Excel for calculations. Now you know both methods, you know how to do the calculations by hand, and you know how to do the calculations using Excel. Thank you.